Hey, and welcome back to Movie Community College. I am the professor, Jeremy Bowling, and we're going to continue our coursework here on the Suicide Squad. Now, the next guy that we have up is in the very center of the picture, so I'm going to go ahead and get the picture up. He's the very center point. He's the focal point of the picture. He is the mesh point. And he's the guy, Rick Flagg, who has all the ladies around him. So we're going to talk a little bit about Rick Flagg. We're going to talk about him in Smallville, who he is, give you a little background understanding of who he is. Character that I've kind of come to enjoy. I've seen him on the portrayal in Smallville and in the comics. I really like the character. So we'll go ahead and we'll get into Rick Flagg. Well, I think the thing to start with on this discussion of Rick Flagg is which Rick Flagg is this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to see in the Suicide Squad movie. There's been 3 Rick Flaggs. In the comic run, there's a grandfather, a son, and a grandson all play it. The original Rick Flagg was a division in the World War II called the Suicide Squadron. And in their first mission, Flagg was the only survivor. And he was kind of a war hero and liaison, if you will, of Harry S. Truman. And he called on him to kind of recreate the Suicide Squad, and they called it Task Force X. And that's kind of, just an overview of Grandpa. That's Grandpa Rick Flagg. Now, there was Rick Flagg Jr., who grows up and he gets involved in dealing with jihad. He kind of comes along with Amanda Waller. And I'm not sure. So will this be that version that we get, or is it going to be the grandson? I'm not sure, quite honestly. But I think if you look at it as the middle Flagg, he was a good character. He really was. I really liked his abilities, and I think what he's going to be for us, regardless of which Rick Flagg we're dealing with, okay, is he's going to represent, I think, you and I in the film franchise of dealing with these super anti-hero villain-esque people. And what I mean by that is, he's a normal guy. He is a normal guy. He has no superpowers. He is an expert in military, special forces, guerrilla tactics, strategy, demolition. He's highly trained in both armed and unarmed combat, stealth, surveillance, infiltration. He's an infiltration expert. He's very going to be at, the peak physical and mental condition. So the idea is that you and I could train and gain these abilities, right? We're not going to have to rely on some kind of mutation or monster or, magic like that. So he is he's kind of the liaison, I think, between the crew, the Suicide Squad, and Amanda Waller. And he's going to lead them. He's going to oversee their missions, and he's going to really identify with them. He kind of loses himself, I think, if we're talking about just past comic book issues. He kind of loses himself in the Suicide Squad and really identifies with these forgotten heroes, that need to kind of come out after the Justice League is in free fall. Because in the comic book story, we see the Justice League or Justice Society of America, whatever they're called, kind of go away, and the Suicide Squad then steps in to fill the void underneath the presidential orders. We saw it in Smallville, and again, Smallville I think is a key thing. If you haven't seen Smallville, you can go, I go to a place called Zia Records, and, it's a used CD bookstore, movie place, video games. and I pick them up, and you can pick up, or you can get them on eBay, and you can pick up past seasons of Smallville from $3 to $10, depending on how patient you are and what kind of format you want. But we see in Smallville, we see this Rick Flagg kind of getting the Suicide Squad together, working with Amanda Waller in this checkmate thing, and really kind of sticking it to the superheroes. And I think a fun character. I really do. Now, the guy they had portraying him in Smallville, I thought was a terrible choice. I like this view, or this version that we have coming up in the movie. He looks more, expert military special forces. Like, I can beat you up if I need to. The guy in Smallville looked a little doughy, looked a little like, maybe 15 years ago you could, but not now. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm not sure. I think he is the character that Tom Hardy was going to play that when he pulled out of it. What do you think? What version? Let me ask you this: what version of Rick Flagg do you think it is? 1, 2, or 3? Being Grandpa, the son, grandson. I think they're kind of going to go with it's going to be the son, and you can kick out Rick Flagg 3. The third. Much later, when you start bringing people in, if they continue on with Bronze Tiger or something like that. But anyways, I digress. So if you would, please, would you subscribe to the channel here? It would mean a lot to me if you would. We're trying to get to 50. We're having a lot of fun doing these videos. We're trying to get better as we go. And you can check out our website too, remnantxradio.com. Again, that's remnantxradio.com. If you go to that website, you'll find all the social media things to get a hold of us: Facebook, Twitter, other YouTube pages that we do. And you can go to the sponsor page. You go to the sponsor page. I got free music for you. You just click on the icons of Humble Beast and of... it's terrible. I forget my sponsor's name. They're going to fire me. Face Down Records, and you can get a free sampler and kind of check out their music. Really good people to work with. Great music, great underground music, stuff that you won't hear on the radio. Thank you so much for watching, and again, subscribe to the videos. Appreciate it. Bye.